Hey everyone, it's that time of the week. How are you all doing out there? I see we have a lot of visitors already. Mr. Mauve. Okay. Wow. Okay, there's some names here that I already can't pronounce. I apologize for that. George's Portrait Art. Sajad is here. Abnezer, I think that's how you pronounce that. Excuse me. Ace is here. Zoran is here. Sandy, welcome, Sandy. Helen, I appreciate you joining me here this morning. Let me make sure my head isn't in the camera. That wouldn't be cool. Michelle, you're not sick of me yet. I appreciate that. Kelly, good morning. Neil is here. Welcome. Martina, Pamela, Moises, South Arkansas. That sounds cool, man. Phoenix is here. Hey, Scott, I'm looking forward to seeing your new painting Monday. um, awesome. Nicole S. from Germany. Richard, welcome, Richard. Phoenix. Aura, hey, Aura, how are you? Roger, Sabi, Ellie DeLacy. That's a cool flowing name. Okay, Karth Ick, I believe. Dana, welcome. David, happy Saturday. So in today's class, I'm going to do my best to draw this statue that you see here on the monitor. You can find this statue at my Facebook page. You can find it. I put a link to my Pinterest where I have a ton of saved statues that might interest you. People always asking me where I get my reference for the tutorials on my website. I get the reference. I photograph the reference for these live streams. I just kind of do like random things, and this is, I think, what, 3:30 BC. So I think I'm okay with the copyright with this one. Christian, welcome, and let me just go get two friends before we get started. We have two friends in the studio with us. Truffs is gracing us with our presence, and I promise you, I will not waste your time. We'll get drawn like immediately here. But before they get distracted and well, actually, you know what? They're both sleeping. I should just leave them until they get distracted. All right. So cool. Michael, welcome. I got your email this morning. Feel better, Michael. Appreciate you letting me know what was going on. I can't pronounce that name. I can say Mazur from Poland. John TM, John Femiani, awesome. Wow, there's some interesting names here. And again, I apologize. So, Frankie J., welcome. Let's get started. All right. So, I'm doing the basics today. Oh, before we get started, let me share with you the drawing that I finished from last week's stream. So, this was the one from last week's stream, and I worked with the white charcoal pencil with the Col-Erase on the same toned paper, and I posted it to my Instagram. You can see it a little bit better there. I posted it to my Facebook page. You can see it a little bit better there. I have a Matthew Archambault Facebook page as well as the Drawing Tutorials Online Facebook page. I'm not a Facebook person, but it's there. It's part of, having a business online. So that's there, and you can check it out. I think the photography is going to do that drawing a whole lot more justice than this video is going to do. All right. So with all that being said, where's my pencil? All right, here we go. Let's get started. We got Truffs in the studio, and we have Bubba in the studio, and they're both sound asleep. And so I started over here. In the description, I was going to talk about maybe doing the bark technique. I apologize if I'm saying that incorrectly. I do have a French-Canadian last name, but I'm probably pronouncing the French bark wrong. But it's my Long Island thing, so we're just going to kind of go with it. So right over here, I'm just thinking about some angles. So I put these lines here just so I knew where the camera was going to be. I'm not trying to cheat or anything like that. So we're going to get the back bun of the hair, all right? And then I'm going to do some angles, all right? So last night was a rough night. I was up from like 2 to 4. That was brutal. I'm like, okay, I need to get some shut eye, and I need to like close my eyes because I have a live stream coming up. So this bun back there is pretty big. So the first thing, all right, so instructions starting. I'm doing okay, David. Tingling hands and feet today. That's always a blast when that happens. So first thing that I want to assess immediately, okay, is distances. So I'm first couple lines, like this is like 10 seconds. So I look at the back of the bun of Aphrodite's head, and then I look over here and I'm looking at that distance, and maybe I've already got that too long, but you don't want to get too crazy with the measurements, hey Nancy, too soon. You want to just kind of get some pencil down on the paper. Now, what I'm doing here is I'm pressing down extremely lightly. So if I do make a mistake, it's okay. So I want to be a little bit more gestural. Now, the bark technique, the drawings that I see, if you just go to Google and you type in BARQUE drawings, you'll kind of get it. Hey, Aurora, I hope you're feeling better. You'll get, Barbara, welcome. You'll get a good idea of what I'm talking about with the bark drawings. So with the bark drawings, it's angles. Okay, so it's this angle for the back of the head. I know this is really interesting. I got like 3 lines down here. I got to go a little faster. So yeah, so it's angles, but I like angles, but I draw better when I do continuous line. So we're going to do a hybrid, okay? So I'm going to try to do the angles just for the instructive quality of this live stream here today. Now, listen, a side note. Every week, like 2,000 to 4,000 people watch the live stream, and I get like 200 likes. Could you like this video at the end of you watching it if it provides you value? That would help the channel. If you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe so you can get a notification when I'm going live, because I'm going live every Saturday, and that will just act as a reminder, because a lot of people always ask me, Matt, when you're going live, it's Saturday every morning. So if you click on and you subscribe and you like the video, it would help me a lot. It would help with the algorithms in YouTube. And I don't claim to be like a quote-unquote big-time YouTuber. I'm just a regular guy trying to help you all draw better, but the likes would certainly help. All right, so let's keep going here, and let me just get this down, and let's stop talking, and let's draw a little bit. But if I stop talking, that's not going to be good. All right, so I'm just cruising on down. That's on the video monitor. Good, so I'm cruising on down, and let's just get the angle of the mouth, and this head really dips down. Now, notice I'm leaving that top part out. I'm going to call that like a distractor. So I want to get the big angle first. Now, how many, I don't like to do this type of measuring stuff. How many heads wide is that head here from here to here compared to that bun? You glance at that really quickly. I'm not a big measurements person that way. Like I like to guesstimate a little bit more. So now what I'm doing very quickly here is I'm just trying to separate. I don't want to go too slow. I want to speed up a little bit so this interests you and I don't put you all to sleep. So this, I want to just separate hair from face. So for me in portrait class, first technique, shape a hair, shape a face with measure lines and negative space. That truly is first thing. Now, if you get this shape a hair, shape a face wrong, don't worry about it, because we're really pressing down super light on the pencil. Julio, welcome, Julio. All right. Nice. Thank you, Aurora. Gardenia in bloom. Love it. Cool. Mr. Yash Boss Official. How about that? My name is Matt. And yeah, absolutely. So come on down here now and let's get this forehead. And where is that nose in relationship to the bun? So bottom of the nose. So we're calling the back of her hair a bun. Okay. Yeah. All right. So her nose is much lower than the bun. So I'm just doing simple angles right now. And maybe what I'm going to do now that I have that head in, I'm going to zoom in just a touch. Okay, because this is going to be really tiny for you, and I don't want it too tiny. Now, give me a moment to resituate my paper, because I'm kind of happy with those initial lines, all right? So those initial lines are kind of working for me, and now what I'm going to do just for you on YouTube is I just want to move the paper over. Let's bring it over here. Wow, I got sunlight on my pad now. Seriously? Okay, the season's changing. It is freezing here. Season isn't changing, but why is that sun coming on my... Oh, God. Seriously? Okay. That's not good. Should I close that blind? 1 second. 1 second. Sun in... Oh, that didn't even help. So I think it's reflecting off of the picture frame over my head. Not good at all. So let's keep going. Let me not focus on that. Let me not make that be a distraction. So my first assessment when I look at these first couple lines, I'm doing a lot of talking here. I understand that. You would be doing this. This whole process should take you 3 minutes, okay? And I see the neck just needs to be a little bit longer. So now what you do is you start over, okay? You start over and you go through it again. So we're going to start over here, and I'm trying to go really slow with this. Slow. It's a slow fast. We're going to do an oxymoron. So now let's do a little bit on the interior. So I want to get where the back of the head touches the bun. See, I'm much more comfortable drawing with, that was very funny the way that I said comfortable, but we're going to let that go. Okay, so let's come on down over here. I love continuous line. Now, we were talking about continuous line in the Zoom class. I have a Zoom class every single Tuesday for members of drawingtutorialsonline.com, and I gave my kind of little example of continuous line is where I keep my pencil on the paper like what I'm showing you right now, and I look, draw for a second, look, stop the pencil, look at the statue, draw for a second. Okay, now continuous line over here into the chin. I usually say with these portraits and figures. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking at the bottom of the hair or the ear area, and is the distance from here to here too long? Maybe it's too long, but let's keep going. We don't want to go too crazy and make it too perfect in the beginning. We just want to work the drawing and move around and not get stuck. You see, this is one of those times that you can get stuck, and then you get into erasing mode and you keep second guessing yourself, and you really don't want to do that. You want to get some pencil on the paper. So the drawing is tiny. This is tiny. So today this is 4 inches tall. Okay, I would have liked for it to have been a little bit bigger. Okay, but it's 4 inches tall. The drawing that we did last week was 6.5 inches tall, roughly. Okay, so that one's a little bit bigger. You know, I since I've been teaching all these classes on Zoom for the college, the School of Visual Arts, my drawings have been getting smaller and smaller and smaller, which is not good. At all. You know, when you draw bigger, you draw better because you draw with your arm. But for this little live stream video today, we're just going to let that go. So the hair is going to be lowered. Okay, let's lower that hair. And let's come on in over here, wrap around. Now, let's get this part of her hair. Okay, I don't know what you would call that, but we're just going to call it this part. It cruises around. Okay, and now let's get this bump on the top. We're going to call it that part. Just take a step back. I'm looking at distances, so stop and look. Don't just continue to draw. You need to reassess, and especially in the first 10 minutes of the drawing. I'm going slower than I anticipated, but in the first 10 minutes of the drawing, it's super duper important that you get up off of your chair and you look at the drawing and you assess it from far away. So we're just going to put that little bump over there. I'm kind of happy with the back distance from here to here. That's not bothering me. Maybe we're just going to do a little bit of tone very quickly. And now we're going to come on in and do this flip up. This is nothing more than a cylinder. That's the shadow side. Now maybe what we can start to do is work a little bit of the face. Okay. Can we draw any type of face shape directly? Yes, absolutely. Very interesting, Kelly. This and that part, love it. Matt, is this good practice for Tuesday's Zoom class? Absolutely. So Zoom class on Tuesday, we're starting with portraits. John Femiani, are you looking at the screen or do you have a similar sized? No, John, so right now my setup is my piece of paper is at a 45-degree angle, okay? And it's on a big computer screen that's about 24 inches. It's 28 inches wide. So it's a huge computer screen, the Wacom Cintiq Q27 QHD, something like that. I've had it for years, and I just taped the piece of paper onto the computer. So my iMac is, see where I'm looking down, looking at the 45-degree angle, looking up, looking straight ahead at my iMac, and my iMac, I have reading glasses, so I'm probably screwing up my eyes, it's too far away. It's about 24 inches away from my head, okay, 2 feet. And the photo is pretty small. I have it in preview. So I just dragged it off the internet onto my desktop, opened it up in preview, sized it. And I guess you can say I'm doing site size because I'm trying to draw it the same size, perhaps. Now, as I stopped looking at the drawing for a moment and I'm just kind of looking all over, I realized she needs to be wider. Okay, so it's good. I'm telling you, it's really important. Let me sharpen this pencil. It's really, really important that you stop drawing in the first 5 minutes and lean back. Lean back and look at your drawing from far away. Any simple trick to draw a face shape directly? Oh, God, no. No, there is no simple trick. I wish there was. But yeah, I could be drawing faster, but the philosophy here with today's live stream is that we're trying to do some angles with that bark technique. Karen, welcome. Soup, welcome. And we're trying to be a little bit more slow with this. Okay, so let's make this. Let's just kind of draw a little bit more here, Matt. I'm going. Let's come on in. Now I'm gonna kind of pick up with my own style. So my own style is this continuous line. So I'm not lifting my pencil off of the paper. I'm keeping it on the paper. Why? Because we do not want chicken scratch. Chicken scratch is when you keep your pencil on the paper for a nanosecond and you use like 30 lines to draw that one side of the head. You don't want that. You want to practice continuous line. And a good way to practice continuous line is to do blind contour. Okay, you know, I was having a good time with my students in class this week, and I'm like, yeah, we're going to do the artsy-fartsy technique that I learned in the 70s called blind contour. Okay, now I just dated myself a lot there, but I just remember taking a class on Saturday with my good friend Stephen Rocco, and we went to a class at a high school. We were in 6th grade, and the teacher there was talking about blind contour, so we were kind of laughing. I didn't understand what it was all about, but so blind contour is just where you draw one side of the figure for like 60 seconds without lifting your pencil off the page. So she needs to be wider. Another way for me to say that is she could be shorter. Okay, up top over here, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to not try to be too anal with it. Yeah, continuous line is really important. Do you have any tips on character consistency? Yeah, so the character consistency, Lil Miss Random 17, is about your center line. And designing your character with a specific shape. So when you turn the character from, say, front to 3/4 to profile, you definitely use the center line and that basic shape that you've designed the character with to help you retain likeness. So for me, when I used to illustrate, I illustrated a few children's picture books, which had like 24 paintings in them. Yeah, so to try to paint the character in all different positions, I'm just trying to see how I'm drawing the mouth on top of the big angle. So this is our macro angle. Now I could do the mouth with the angles. Where's that nose so I'm glancing, where's that nose in relationship? So in essence, a Little Miss Random, just kind of draw a shape, okay? A shape. So we draw the figure with the torso shape first. The torso, it looks like a peanut. And so when you design a head for a character, for a cartoon or an animation, I really stress to my animation students they need to design that character in a simple shape that could be replicated. Okay, so we just kind of added a little bit of detail over here with this lip, a little bit of continuous line. And I'm going to come on down now. We have a very short, this is a straight line, and I usually tell my students no straight lines, but it's marble, and we're going to make it straight. But if it was a human being, we're not going to make it straight. So this angle's down. What you looking at? Hello, what you looking at? P-Tor, did I say that right? Welcome. Who's watching from the Philippines? Actually, a lot of people have been watching from the Philippines. Very cool. Had a Filipino student a couple semesters ago, and love that student. They were awesome. Very talented, to say the least. Okay, so now I see what I'm doing. I'm just putting a little bit of shape there. And now let's dive in and maybe start to get this eye, because there's these rhythms. So now what I'm looking at is eyebrow. Eyebrow, line that separates the light from the dark on the bridge of the nose. The bridge of the nose is extremely skinny. Do not press down hard. can we still do good art with only school pencils? Yes, it's not the materials, it's what you're looking at. Hey, German, it's what you're looking at that is most important. See, at my website, DTO, drawingtutorialsonline.com, people will sign up and they post their drawing for a critique in the critique gallery, and they're working from the worst photo reference possible, meaning it's front lit with no shadows. So this reference is awesome. It has shadows. Again, if you want to get this reference, you need to go to my Facebook page. I have a link that could bring you to my Pinterest. I don't really promote my Pinterest. I just kind of go there randomly lately and save photos. Like when I do the live streams, I'm running out of ideas. So Pinterest is helping me retain ideas. So it's not the pencils, okay? You can go get a regular 2B pencil and make a masterpiece. You can get, I've seen masterpieces with a Bic pen that you stole from the doctor's office, okay? It's not the materials, it's what you look at, okay? If you're drawing from either life or from a photo, you're drawing from your imagination, that's a whole topic for another day, but it's what you look at. So if you look at bad reference, bad in, bad drawing out. Good reference, good in, good drawing out. Okay, so I'm just looking at this little shape of the nose. Let's come on down, get the side plane of the nose, and good. And now let's look at that forehead is. So now what I want to look at is the distance from the eyebrow to the chin. It's pretty short. I could actually even lower the eyebrow, but let's leave it. So now there's a rhythm line for her eyelash, eye. That's going to be the tilt of her iris area, the white of her eye. Good. Don't like that, but let's keep going. And all of this now, so let's shade. So I'm going to shade this way. And let's get the bottom of the hair where it touches the face. Something doesn't feel right there, but if it doesn't feel right, don't stop. Just keep going. You'll figure it out. And don't ruin the drawing by erasing too much. Like, you got to give this stuff time to blossom. Okay, if you use this light to, now I should be wrapping this way with the pencil strokes, looping that way, but I don't want to do that. I want to go this way. So her head is tilted towards us. I should be doing that, but I'm going to just block in first with a diagonal pencil stroke. Block in. Truffs is snoring. Okay, Bub is very quiet because he has a long snout, but Truffs is a French bulldog, so she's got that pushed in face, so she's a snorer. So now I'm going to roll this in, and this would take a lot of concentration and just looking. So I want to get this underplane shadow. Just don't worry about the details yet. Just block in the tone. Block in the tone with a diagonal pencil stroke. Get some shape on the paper. Christian, any tips for creating smaller gradations in value when shading finer details? So it's okay, one second. Let me get something. All shading is about this thing. All shading is about the grayscale. So you just have to manage. Sometimes you get small little value gradations. So maybe a 6 to a 7 to an 8. So you have to be able to control your hand, your touch, so you could just shade that 8 value. Okay, so that's my little tip. It's practice matching values. All right, so let's keep going here. And from France, what you looking at from France? Cool. Do you still use the Riley method in your drawing? So no, absolutely not. But I use the Riley method when I used to paint the Riley palette. I'm not saying the Riley method is bad. So for me, when I first learned how to draw, it was the angles and negative space. Okay. And as I've drawn from life, when you draw from the model 3 days a week and you start to draw tons and tons and tons of gesture drawings, you start to put down the angles and you start to draw with organic lines. So let me get angles. So this is something I was working on last night. Angles is an angle, 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 angle. Sorry, I keep repeating myself. I'm just trying to prove the point here. These are all angles. Okay, that's appropriate. But when you draw the figure over and over and over again, what happens is you start, especially gestures, you say, forget the angles. That's too slow. Like, I need to keep my pencil on the page. I need to have continuous line. I need to be squirrely. I need to show gesture. I need to show form. I need to show curviness to enhance the form. Angles is when you're just working in a small little area. Francesco Ciccinelli from Italy. My mom's from Italy. In Sanicandro di Bari. We had an Italian model in class the other day, last week, from India. Welcome. You got it, Master Q9's best. Danny Chen. Thanks for joining, Danny Chen from China. You know, I feel so, I know, it's 11:30 p.m. I have multiple students from China in my classes from the School of Visual Arts, and I teach a perspective class on Thursdays, and it goes from 12:30 to 2:30. And the poor student, her name is Yun Yao, and she's up. It's almost like 4 o'clock in the morning when the class is ending. I feel so bad, and she suffers through it, and she's doing great. Now, she did a really good homework assignment. I might do, for those of you who missed the sketchbook videos, I might do a sketchbook video via Zoom on Tuesday. I'm going to record it and then post it on YouTube, because one of my older students from China, I had him in class last year. He contacted me because he filmed his sketchbook. I'm like, let's film it on Zoom. Let's see what happens, because I'm kind of becoming a Zoom expert. I'm doing it like 4 days a week. It's craziness. Any tips for improving proportions? Sure. Welcome from Argentina, Miguel. Denmark, thank you for joining. Thank you. So, gosh, mini measurements, okay? So mini measurements. So proportions for the figure. Let me get a gesture drawing here. 1 second. Oh, God, where's that drawing from the other day? So there's two different ways to do proportions. If you're just going to do a study like this, you measure from here to here, and then from here to here. So which is longer, from the bottom of the butt to here or from here to here? You have to be able to manage little measurements like that. And then you say what's right below her shoulder. And then you have to manage interior measurements from here to here versus from here to here. What's wider? Okay, so in a study like this, that's what you focus on. If you're drawing gestures, 1 second. I can't find what I wanted to show you guys. Okay, we're going to let it go. I need to work on this. With gestures, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, you got it, Nancy. Budapest, Hungary, welcome. Okay, let's keep going here. So now let's push. Let's start again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, let me resharpen. We are going slow motion horizon, 28 minutes in, and this is all I got from Egypt. Okay. Let's, you know me, I love line, and I don't care about the tone thing. I did that for many, many years, and I did the tone next to tone, and it's all good, and I understand that philosophy of drawing. And the philosophy is there's no such thing as a line, there's just tone. And I get that. I just like line better now at this stage in my life. So I'm going to ignore the tone next to tone thing, although I do think if that's what you're into, I think that's great. Okay, so I'm doing tone with line. So this is going to come back over here. So I'm just trying to outline some of these shadow shapes. I'm not pressing down hard. There is absolutely no black on this piece of paper right now. So I'm working all in mid-tones. So let's, I'm going to work a little bit with the white charcoal pencil towards the end of the drawing. Let's come on in over here. Let's make this a little bit more complicated. So complication on top of, the angles. So look at distances. Just look at the negative space. Let's bring this over. This is that's too high. This is better. My dogs are making all these noises, snoring and licking. It's It's like Animal House over here. So I'm just kind of having some fun. That little thing on the top of her head, we're going to call that bun number 2, is too tall. But it's all good. Make this a little bit more complicated. Coming on down, continuous line. Now lose the line. It's very light over there. And let's make this more solid. Solid tone. Pressing down super light, using your YouTube lover's touch here to go very, very light with the value. Okay. And now let's bring this into the neck. So the head is casting a shadow on the neck, and you have to understand. So one of the first things you need to do when you're picking reference, Truffles is okay. She's sound asleep. Hi, Matt. You say not to erase, but how do you avoid the mess? So I did erase. I did erase, but just try to work from light to dark, and there's no absolutes. You're going to have to erase a little bit, no doubt. But if you work light to dark, light pressure on the pencil, you make the erasing process less, okay? So sometimes, Neil, when you leave those lines, the mistake lines, especially on a figure drawing, they loosen everything up. So Neil, when you look at this figure drawing over here, this was a mistake line, and I just left it in there because it kind of loosened the drawing up a little bit, okay? Let me put this back. I can't believe I can't find that other drawing I want to share with you guys. Now let's push this a little bit more. So, good. All right, so I have an outline everywhere. So as where I would erase, Neil, to answer your question, is I would erase out a line back over here, top plane, to relax the drawing a little bit. Because when you put outlines everywhere, you stiffen the drawing up tremendously. Okay, now let's just work on this shadow on the face. Let's make it a little bit more solid because we're going to kind of come on in soon. We're going to hasten the process, and we're going to add a little bit of white charcoal just for fun because we can. It's YouTube. It's a live stream. Who cares? Put that little tone there. Side plane. Skinny front plane of that nose. Super skinny chip on the nose. A reflected light underplane of the nose, but we don't want that as light as the forehead, so we're going to tone it down a little bit. Nose is casting a shadow above the mouth. Let's put that there. There's a rim light on the edge of the face right there, which we'll get with the white charcoal. Now let's get the center of the lips. Just look at my eyes. I'm looking at the drawing, looking at the reference. Looking at the drawing, looking at the reference. Look more at the reference than you do your drawing. Don't get locked into tunnel vision. Okay, so good. Now let's be a little bit more aggressive with some other things. So let's resharpen. I'm too timid with this today. Just look. How do you get the top of her head to tilt a bit towards us? Great question. It's putting this in shadow, putting this in shadow. Let me see if I can't try to do that right now. So I'm just slightly dull pencil. I need to shade this more. It's this. See what I'm doing? Kelly, I'm wrapping up, wrap up, like that. Your pencil stroke direction should go like that. Her face could be shorter. This needs to go wrapping up. This is really slow, everybody. I apologize. I'm just trying to take it slow so you can see this process of this angles, a little bit of continuous line. And so now let's wrap this around. And this also, Kelly, needs to wrap. I don't want to outline that. As soon as I outline that, I'm going to just go home and just leave. I am home. All right, so I shouldn't have outlined that, but we'll erase it out. A very short distance from the eye to the brow. That's going to help turn the head. Let's, okay, this comes down more. Okay, this comes up to about there. Flow around, make that a shadow. And now this flows in. This has got to be lower. I'm looking at your comments. I'll get to them in a second. Just want to get some more lines down. So this would take a while for me to do this accurately. Okay, let's get this. So where is this? This is mid-forehead. Just look more at the reference than you do your drawing. Let's shade this. Okay, that's a cylinder. Top of the head, we're going to keep it light. So this is where value matching is really important. I'm not going to go dark with any of this. What we call this type of art. Just practice. Practice. I'm calling it practice this morning. Some people would call this academic style training. That's a little too highfalutin for me. But yeah, it's just practice. And in my style, I guess my style is semi-realistic. And let's get some tone down over here. Let's curve our shading lines this way. So Kelly, curving those lines is going to help tilt things. I didn't quite capture that, but that's what's really going to help. Let's put a little tone over here. Now, at this point in the game, I can sit here for a couple of hours and just shade and play and tinker. But since this is a live stream, I'm going to push it and go a little bit faster. And let me just have fun here with some more doodads. Nose needs to be wider, kicked over to the left. Paper's starting to buckle a little bit. So now I'm going to use a little bit of a sharper line. So I hate when the paper buckles. Let's tilt that nose. That little angle just helped so much. Truffs is dreaming right now. Let's be deliberate with the edge. I talk about this all the time on the video critiques. Be deliberate with an edge. And Kelly, this also curving around is going to have that head tilt. Now, I got to be careful over here because I got to add that white charcoal. There's a rim light on her lips. Shadow in between. Should not be going too dark here. I'm going to screw everything up, but let's keep going. A nice deliberate edge. There's a reflected light under here, so I need to go darker here. Looks like, let's see. If I draw from a model I see on the net and see model, do I owe the model? If it's for practice and you're not profiting from it, it's practice. If you're making thousands on the drawing, well, it would be nice if you contact the model. Yeah. So this statue is from 330 BC, I think. So I can't contact her. And so I think I'm okay. Do you spray your sketches set in spray? So no, I never do that. It's toxic. And my sketches, I talked about this last week in the live stream. If you're not traveling with your artwork where people are going to be touching it and it's going to be rustled around and it has the possibility of smudging, you really don't need to spray your drawings. You just leave them. You know, the enemy of drawings is light. Okay, so just keep them out of direct sunlight and they're going to be fine. And when you, like this drawing here with the white charcoal, you know, I'm just handling it with my hands on the edge. I'm trying to be gentle with it. And it's just, nothing's going to, I don't really sell my drawings. But if I was going to sell this, it would be behind glass in a frame. No air is going to touch it. Nobody's going to touch it. I would recommend to the person who purchased the drawing, don't hang it in a hallway that has direct sunlight, because that light will really mess things up. Would you use the same approach if you were drawing this statue from life? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So she could be wider. This stinks. I'm just noticing a whole bunch of things here are wrong. Okay. This got to be curved. And David, I mean, I've done life drawings at the Metropolitan Museum of Art from statues where I went there and I drew the statue for 3 hours standing up. And then I've drawn many, many demonstrations at the Met for classes where they're just kind of like quick. Okay, so now let's get into the eraser. So let's talk about let's talk about relaxing the drawing. So over here, I'm going to erase out the edge. I want to relax. I want to loosen it up. Over here, this is one big hot mess on the top. I want to erase that out. I want to relax the drawing. I want to relax the drawing over here. I want to erase out top plane. Top plane, I want to erase out. Top plane, I want to erase out. So I'm erasing out all my top planes. That's going to relax the drawing a little bit. At least I hope it will. Am I going to use the brush? No, let's maybe. I shouldn't say no. Yeah, she's snoring right now, Truffs. So let's just play with a brush. Let's go soft with the brush today. So if I told you how old this old brush is, I think you would die. I think I've had this brush for like 30 years, like no joke. And it's all beaten up and I never use it. It's a canvas brush. But what you can do, this would be a soft touch with the blend before we get to the white charcoal. So let's just do the soft touch with the blend. It's really not much to blend. We haven't modeled much of anything just yet. And yeah. A lot of things wrong. It's okay. Let's pull out a rim underplane light over here. And let's get rid of that. Let's pinch this and turn it into, it looks like a duck. Make a little point and get that front plane. Okay. And now let's have fun. I hate saying that because it always reminds me of like Bob Ross. I used to watch Bob Ross when I was in college, like second year of college, living at home, 19 years old, and my Italian grandmother would be making dinner at like 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'd come on down and it'd be like 12:30 and it would be lunch. And I'd watch Bob Ross and I'd have a sugar crash and take a nap after Bob Ross. And he would always screw up the painting. And then I would go back to doing my homework. Relax in the drawing. So when you outline the entire drawing, you make it stiff. Okay. So there's many, many different ways to relax a drawing. So this drawing, see how I'm coming down over here with these really loose lines? So there's a multitude of ways to relax artwork. So one is with S-curve lines. One is with losing an edge. One is with blending the drawing into a background tone. There's so many different ways to relax the drawing. In this particular case, I am just doing a little bit of erasing to get rid of the harsh outline. So we're just using, is this the pencil? Yes. We're just using this very cheap General's charcoal white. Okay. And we're pressing down very light. Just to get started, let's feel this out. Okay. And I'm going to hold it this way. I was holding it this way. Hold it whatever way works best for you. Whenever a teacher tells you how to hold something, I think they're wrong. You have to hold your pencil or your paintbrush. Everything is about getting the best results. So what gets good results for a teacher doesn't mean it's going to get good results for you. You just have to maybe say, oh, I'm in this teacher's class. He's telling me to hold it like this. The video just really makes this bright. This is so dull, but the video makes it so bright. You hold, just experiment while you're in that teacher's class. And then when you leave the teacher's class, you hold the pencil or the paintbrush how you want to hold it. I was a fool when I was younger. I had a great teacher, and he told me how to hold a pencil, and he told me I can't draw with my mechanical pencil. So I immediately dropped the class, which was a huge mistake. I should have stayed in that class, but I was young and I didn't know. Okay, so there's light here. So I'm going to curve my pencil stroke direction. It's way too light on the video, but it is what it is. My camera's not picking up the subtleties. So I would highly recommend that later in the week. I might work on this after the live stream. You can check out my Instagram page. Now remember, if you joined us late, it would help me so much if you can like the video. It would also help me so much if you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. I don't really ask too much of you guys, but if you can just like the video, that would be pretty cool. Okay, little rim light. And I should erase that dark there. Let's do that right now. So we're going to show that with a rim light. What time is it? Okay, we're 45 minutes in. Not bad. Daniel, I really appreciate that, Daniel Castelli. Hey, Matt, just showing support from my favorite teacher. We appreciate all you give. Daniel, I totally appreciate that. A regular like would work just fine. Super chat is just very generous on your part. If there's anything that I can do for you, Daniel, just please email me, and I'll do my best to help you, okay? Thank you so much. I truly appreciate that. Let's put a little bit of a rim light here, okay, on her mouth. There's a rim light on the top plane of her mouth, and then there's a rim light over here. Magdalena, Poland. What's wrong with mechanical pencils? Magdalena, Poland. It was a gesture drawing class, so he didn't. You know, I'm sitting there trying to draw a gesture. I don't have my mechanical pencil. It's over there with a mechanical pencil with an HB. It's just mechanical pencils are better for this, not gesture drawing. Okay, let me be a little bit more aggressive here. And a little bit more aggressive. I'm going to zoom in, okay? I should have done that earlier. Good. And let's put more light down. So normally, in a traditional academic style drawing, the chin would not nearly be as light as the forehead because there's a gradation in the light. And so you want to be careful you don't make that chin area too light, which I've done. And let's curve on up, curve on up. It should be lighter here because this is more of a top plane, and this is closer to the light. Okay, let's get, will that go over the pencil? Will that go over the pencil? Not bad. I should have erased that out first. There's an angle down over here. Let's curve up with the pencil strokes. Curve up. Now my philosophy is this statue has two lights hitting it. You can tell because the front of the face is cool and the top of the statue is warm. Okay, so we don't want to separate the hair from the head, so we're going to loosen that and draw right through that outline. And now I'm going to be very stylized with this. And we need to open that eye more. Let's just connect up, tilt that. Okay, this would take me a long time to get that perfect, so bear with me that it's not totally her. Let's curve around. Curve around over here. This has got to, not gotta, come on into the hair, top plane. So I'm just beginning the process of being a little sloppy with the light, and I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna be a little sloppy, just for fun. Let's wrap around with the pencil stroke direction. Okay, and I want to make this nose a very, very hard edged because it's her profile, which is awesome. Good. And let's this, I'm going to go much lighter over here. So it's at this point where I'm like, God, I've been sitting down for way too long. In my Zoom classes at the School of Visual Arts, I get up, we break every 45 minutes. I have a hard time sitting down in a chair. So I'll probably get up in a moment just to go get the dogs so they can say hello. And so now this is, let's power in a little bit more light, and then I'll get up and I'll look at the drawing from far away. I really do not recommend that you sit down for longer than 20 minutes. It's just really bad for your body. I recommend that you get up every 20 minutes, and just like the model timer is every 20 minutes and then a 5-minute break. 20 minutes, 5-minute break. It's just a great thing for your body to do that. Okay, top plane. The white charcoal is going over the Col-Erase okay today. I don't know what its problem is. It usually goes over the Col-Erase quite easily. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Okay, so this paper is buckling. It's driving me cuckoo. Let me just look. What's your favorite surface to do drawings like this? I like to use illustration board, specifically Strathmore illustration board. I've been using it for, I'm going to date myself again, since 1989. I've been using Strathmore illustration board, 4-ply, 100% rag paper, and that's my favorite. But this is just cheapo paper. It's just toned gray. Okay, nothing special here. Strathmore paper is very expensive. It's like $10 a board. This is 80 pounds. So it's not, I shouldn't say cheapo paper, but it's not like we're going and getting like a $30 sheet of paper. How to draw a small portrait. I have online art world. If you go through my live streams and you go back, I have a John Singer Sargent, very small portrait from front view. You might want to check that out. That might help you. I have also in probably a portrait playlist on my YouTube channel, how to draw a small face. That's there. I've got tons of those videos on my website, but on YouTube here for all of you, just kind of click around and you'll see a front view face, no doubt. Okay, so I'm just having fun, just randomly. This would really take me a long time, everybody. So I'm just kind of being very loose with this. Okay, so let's just keep going, and let's put a little tone over here more. I'm going to erase out, so let's get the Mono Zero Dana. Okay, so we'll check it out. Kawaii Flower Bay. We'll check out your channel. Okay, let's erase that out. I should have done this with the eye. I was just being lazy. Let's erase that out. There's reflected light over here. I'm going to use the tone of the paper for the reflected light. I'm not going to put the white charcoal on the underplanes where there's reflected light. I'm just putting the white charcoal on the top planes where there's light. So there's the main difference there. Very stylized with all of this. Different pencil stroke direction, different textures. Let's come on up. Different pencil stroke direction will make a different texture. Okay, this is too dark. Let's come on in with this type of stroke. Yeah. Kat, hey Matt, how are you? I hurt my back and neck, making it hard to draw for sure. Oh, that stinks. Yeah, I know. I know the feeling. I was just telling the story that I have these herniated discs in my neck, and some people, when they have herniated discs, they press against one nerve, and that nerve either goes to your hands if it's a cervical disc, if it's a lumbar disc, and the disc is protruded and it's pressing against your nerve, it goes down to your foot or your leg, so you feel tingling in your foot, one side of your body. But I'm blessed with the herniations pushing against my spine. So that means I get tingling in my hands and my feet. It's so much fun. When you draw, when you will draw the down of the face. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Why do you like lines? It's a style thing, nothing more and nothing less. And then, when you're I've been an artist my whole life, a professional artist since 1990. It's very difficult to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. You get bored with yourself. So I used to do the tone thing, and I just got bored with it. You have to switch things up to kind of keep your art fresh. And when you do this for a living and you have to do these things all the time, you have to switch things up. The worst thing in the world is to get bored with your job. And this is my job, and I would never want to get bored with my job. And trust me, I've been bored with my job many times before. And there's only so many different ways you can talk about things like surface planes and stuff like that. So that's why. It's just human nature. Human nature, you need to change things up or else we all get bored. And it's that kind of balance between the two words, certainty, uncertainty. So if you do tone all the time, you get too much certainty. So you need some variety, which is uncertainty. So then you mix things up a little bit. And that's what's going to keep you going. Because to be a professional artist is really hard. So if you're bored with it, it's going to be even harder. So you have to switch things up. But I'm not saying you need to change your style every week. You know, I did tone for 15, 20 years, and then I switched over to line and then line and tone. So yeah, why Prismacolor pencil? Because it drags on the paper for me beautifully. It doesn't give me that silvery look when you press down hard like graphite does, where it has a shine. And I just get better results with the Col-Erase. Thank you, Kawai. Pamela, I heard somewhere that it's easier for right-handed people to draw profile portraits facing right. Yeah, I do believe in something like that. I do believe, like, I always start on the with a figure. I'll always start. Let's see. Gosh, 1 second. 1 second. Almost there. Aha. Sorry about that. With the figure, I'll always start here on the left. O is for me on the left because it's a curve. It's a curve down motion that is my favorite motion. So this is where I start and I curve and then wrap around, curve around. Same thing over here. Continuous line, curve. So I start every drawing that way, and I started her, but I started her with angles. When I use a white pencil, can I smudge the white pencil on the paper? Of course. So you could use, let's do that right now. Let me show you how I do it, and maybe you can get some ideas. So you can use a big brush, or you can use, where's that brush? A smaller one. And push that pencil into the paper. Now, if you do that, then you just suckered yourself into having to do layers. So now we have to do layers on this drawing. Again, with the live streams, I'm just trying to help you all, and I'm not worried about doing a masterpiece. It would be nice if it was a masterpiece, but I'm just trying to show you as many techniques as I possibly can. And if I screw up the drawing, I screw up the drawing. It's all good. So I'm just going to blend. Circular stroke, circular stroke. Don't use this white brush in the shadows. Just use it in the light. Scrub that into the paper. Okay, scrub that into the paper. And now, let's use a different brush. So now I can be a real lunatic. What brush am I going to use? This cheapo, you guys told me last week that this is a typewriter eraser. I didn't know that. So now I'm going to just really soften everything. Do you hear that noise? Let me put the mic closer to the paper. New technique, new sound effect. I'm really just scrubbing that into the paper. What time is it? It's 11. Oh my God. So we're just making everything soft. So now I've just suckered myself into, now I got to sit here and draw this forever. Okay? Let me just sit up for a second. Let me get my two dogs. They'll say hello, and I'll come back, and I'll try to finish this thing off. Something about the likeness for me isn't there, but it's all good. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. This is Truffs. No. This is not Truffs. This is Bubba. Bubba has his sweater on. What's up, Bub? You want to say hello to everybody? Oh, you're tired today, huh? Okay. Well, we'll put you back down. You can go back to sleep. You licking your chops? You licking your chops today? Okay, yeah. Bubba's tiny. He's super tiny. He's just chilling out because mom's not home. Yeah. Okay, let's go get the white knight. I'll be right back. Here's Truffs. Truffs has got her tongue out again, and she's sleeping. Truffs, you want to say hello to everybody? Huh? You tired today, Truffs? You want to draw? Come on, let's get you into it. You can't be so lazy and just hang out and sleep all day. Let's get the white charcoal, Truffs. Let's get this charcoal going. Let's make sure we have the mic so we don't piss anybody off. Get that mic close. Okay, Truffs, let's get some stuff going on in over here. So why don't you do some a little bit more darker up top? Okay, that's cool. Look more at the photo, Truffs, than you look at your drawing. So let's get that. Let's put some more charcoal on the top planes of everything. Okay, is that good? You okay with that now? Yeah. All right. You probably want to eat the pencil. You're in zombie mode, Truffs. Let's put you back. Go back to sleep. All right, yeah, good stretch. Get off of this chair. My God. There was something I saw earlier here. What was that about? Illustrator, artist? Hold on, let me go back up. Hey, Marie. Oh, God. Where is that? Oh, would you say there is a major difference between artists and illustrators? To me, they're one and the same. I find illustrators to be far better teachers. Artists tend to care more about philosophy. Okay, so that Daniel, that's a loaded that's a loaded one. But here's my philosophy with that. Some illustrators can sell their art after it's used for the illustration, whether the illustration is a book cover, a poster, a calendar, advertising illustration, whatever, editorial illustration. They can sell the art because it's like a piece of fine art. Like there's illustration that I did that no one's ever going to buy it. It's like two girls with a flashlight walking into a cemetery. I wouldn't consider that like fine art. But there are some illustrators that their illustrations are so beautiful no matter what that they can be hung in the gallery. Okay. But to me, like labels are this thing that you art schools use. Labels are a thing that art schools use to organize students. Without labels, there's no organization. Okay, so like the illustration department, the animation department, the fine arts department. But what I tell my students is it's really, really important. Yeah. Did you know that a chiropractor can adjust one's hands to help with carpal tunnel? Yeah, this is coming from my neck, Cat. This is definitely not coming from like a impingement in my wrist. This is all neck related for me. Buffering. Oh, that stinks. Okay. Bubba, yeah. So, like, I tell my students that have your major and then have your minor. Okay. I hope this is not buffering. Okay, let's resharpen this. I okay, it's your hands. Yes, me too, but also my hands. Absolutely. Okay, so let's just come back into this thing and let's push it a little bit. Okay, it's fine, Dion. Thank you, Mar. Dion Mars, love it. Let's come back in and let's push this drawing. So forehead needs to come out a little bit. Thank you. I appreciate that. I don't understand, but I appreciate what you wrote. Okay, thank you, guys, gals. Okay, let's just come on in and add a little bit more here. Let's be a little bit, let's press down harder. Okay, thank you for letting me know it's not buffering. That's terrible. If it would buffer, I'd hate that. Okay, so rim light over here. Rim light over there. Let me resharpen. Top plane light. A little messy over there. It's all good. Paper's buckling. It's driving me cuckoo. That chat just kind of sounded like a Radiohead song, the lyrics. Appreciate that, Mr. Lay Mauve. Okay, Truffs is already snoring. My God. Okay. Let's keep pushing. So this, a little lighter there. Be more aggressive with the top of the brow bone. And I'm going to be more aggressive with my line. I'm going to resharpen. Wow. I just ruined that pencil almost. Brush in the highlights, transform the drawing. It looks really great. I can't wait to try this. Yeah, so again, a couple of housekeeping things. This photo reference, I put a link to my Pinterest, which I don't really promote my Pinterest because there's really nothing to promote. It's just a bunch of pictures that I save. I just have a few of my drawings up there. I limit my time to a couple of social media platforms. I've just been using Pinterest not to promote my website or anything like that, but just to look for things to draw, especially with the live streams. I've been running out of ideas, so Pinterest is just kind of giving me some ideas. And even for my classes, I've been going there and just getting ideas. But it's on my Facebook page, the photo reference, if you want to try to draw this. And I'm going to erase out with the Mono Zero over here because I have her nose kind of popping up too much. Let's use the Big Mama brush. Yeah, you're right. The nostril definitely needs to be refined, and there's a reflected light. And this really curves up. I should not be pressing down hard, but for the sake of time and video, I'm going to go darker there. This is just popping up on me, the paper. That's why I keep brushing it. So there's a reflected light on the underplane of the nose. That is so now there's value ratios, and I'm not really doing a good job with the value ratios. So value ratios are when you draw something and you make it look like marble. If you draw a black leather jacket, you make it look like a black leather jacket. And so you match the values and you stay within the ratio of the black leather jacket. I'm not doing that on this statue. I'm pressing down harder on the line for the aesthetics of trying to make this thing pop on video. Okay, all this needs to curve around. There's a reflected light over here. I'm not doing the white charcoal on the underplanes. This is a very hard edge here. Look at the distance from the eyelash. That needs to be taller, darker here. I would just say get a sketchbook and draw every day in it. And be deliberate with your practice. Like, draw something from life. Like my two dogs are sleeping right now. Dogs are organic, and just draw your pet sleeping. That's practice. Draw the corner of your room for perspective practice. That's practice. Draw some things out of your imagination. That's practice. Practice things that you are into, like things you want to get better at. Maybe you want to get better at landscapes. Draw some old master landscapes and try to match the value. So you just want to be very deliberate with your practice. Okay, I gotcha. It'll be on YouTube. I'm going to just draw for a little while longer. I just don't like where it's at, the drawing. I don't understand why. I just need to sit with it a little bit more. And I probably will do that this week I'll work on this drawing a little bit more. Like I said, I'll post it to my Instagram page. Let's get the white charcoal once again. Maria, I really appreciate that, Maria. All the way down in Argentina. It must be beautiful over there. God. Okay, Dion. Maybe it's your connection. We're supposed to get a snowstorm. It's like the calm before the storm. We're supposed to be getting a big snowstorm on Monday and Tuesday. And I have an 18-year-old daughter who just started driving, doing her internship, and she drives to 4 different doctor's offices. I just don't want it to snow. I'm not prepared for her to be driving in the snow just yet. That's going to be stress. So again, I don't think I have the likeness. Definitely not. Okay, so for me, this needs to be worked on a whole lot more in order for me to get the likeness. It's not there. It's not there at all. So sometimes these things take time. You're frozen. Okay. So just let me know if I keep buffering and I keep freezing. Just let me know, and I'll just pause the live stream. I think we're just about done anyway. Hopefully this is not buffering too much. Need the white on her cheek. Yeah. Thank you. Having more eyes is great. Okay, thank you, Sandy. You got it, Julio. It's quiet in my house right now, so is there a vertical highlight between the base of the eye and the nostrils? Yeah, a little bit right here. Totally. I need to give that a little bit more love. Oh, God, Phoenix, jeez. Okay. Yeah, more contrast on the cheek. Gotcha. Thank you. Let's go a little bit more aggressive. I need more love there. Thank you. And let's kind of bring that in. Well, I'll tell you, that was some of the most stressful times of my life, teaching my daughter how to drive. Like I've been teaching since 1997, but that doesn't really matter. Your kids don't really care that you're a teacher. And I've been driving since I'm 17, 16 years old, and I'm trying to teach them driving, and you know how 18-year-olds are. They don't want to hear you. But that was some of the most stressful stuff ever, teaching my daughter how to drive. But she's kind of run with it, and she's doing pretty good. But snow, that's a different story. Oh, yeah, Truffles eats all sorts of treats. Need the shadow under the cheek and neck. Squint. You see what I'm doing with my eyes? I'm squinting. Man, there's a lot of reflections. So this now, if I'm going to work on this is going to take, maybe I'd work on it for another 2 hours and call it done. So we've been working on this since an hour and 14 minutes roughly. So an hour of drawing time with all the talk. Let's curl under. Now let's have some fun with the mono zero. So I'm gonna do a little bit of pulling out some lights because she has no ear right now. So where is the ear? The ear is a little bit lower than her nose. Just look at distances before you commit. There's a massive reflected light. Light's bouncing on her neck up into the shadow. And over here, we need to have... So check this out. I'm going to just use a razor blade and make that into a point. And just draw with the point. And come on in over here. So please don't feel the need that you need to stay with me the whole time on this live stream. I know you have a life. So I do appreciate you joining me here today. This has been a lot of fun. I'm going to work on it a little while longer. While I have momentum, I want to just push it a little bit more. I feel as though I don't have the likeness 100%. It needs a whole lot of love. The piece needs a whole lot of love. This is too dark. So I'm drawing with the eraser, pulling out some lights, and over here we want to curve up with that reflected light and come down over here. I hate that line. That's gross. There's massive light on the bottom of her ear. Yeah, I mean, Dion, when I teach every semester, I'm a little bit of a broken record, so I apologize if you heard me say this more than a million times, but every time I teach a new group of students, the beginning of the semester, I teach the fundamentals. And that means I have to practice the fundamentals over and over and over again. And when you do that, it's cumulative. It really starts to build up a lot when you constantly practice the fundamentals. Okay, so I need to... Appreciate that, Aries. Yeah, just do your thing. Just have fun with it. Don't give yourself too many rules. As soon as we start giving ourselves rules, that's when it all kind of falls apart. Just draw. Just have fun. And for me, for students, the most important thing, and for me too, is to draw the subject matter that you love. And I've been going to the Metropolitan Museum of Art since second year of college, actually. And I just love drawing statues. I've been doing it my whole life. So, yeah, I mean, if you look at my Instagram page, you'll see a lot of the drawings there are statues. Just brushing off those eraser crumbs. I just think it's some of the best practice. Oh, yeah, neck needs to be longer. Let's lift this up. Aaron Blaze. Someone talked about Aaron Blaze last week on... No, I'm kind of in my own little cocoon. I'm constantly teaching or preparing for classes or answering emails from members of my website that... sure, I mean, I go on YouTube and I see all the talented teachers on YouTube, and there's tons of them. So, yeah, maybe I just haven't come across Aaron Blaze, but I'm sure that there's so many great teachers on YouTube. If that person is a teacher or an artist, I'm sure they're great. Yeah, it's all good. How do I measure? So just pulling lines down. What's right below that? What's right below that? Mini measurements. Okay, so let's just push a little bit more. Let me show you how I do this texture. So there's the texture of the marble. Texture is least important right now, but I just want to share with you how I would go about this. Different pencil strokes equal different textures. So just doing a little circular motion. And Truffs is totally dreaming right now. And there's some of that texture over here as well. So if I was in my studio and I wasn't doing a live stream, I'd have the music blasting right now. Yeah, Sunday night would be great time for you to upload to the critique gallery. Again, everybody, this is a time that I usually close out. I'm just going to stick around for a few more minutes and draw. But if you have to go, I get it. Yeah, just give me like a couple more minutes here. I feel as though I'm not loving this, but it's, yeah, I just want to try to resolve a couple more things. It's a really light statue. And to get solid shapes, it's just very subtle. Just a little bit more here. Doing this to prepare for Tuesday's Zoom class. All right, Aurora, cool. And let me one more go through with the color with the white charcoal, and we are done. I'm going to work on this off camera. And let's just kind of be more aggressive. Top plane. Press down hard. Press down hard. And press down very hard with the pencil. We can use the brush and take some of it off if we want. But I'm just trying to be a little bit of a lunatic here and make it happen quickly. Both. That's a great answer. So you see the process. Now this is the next layer. So this, yeah, it's. I like drawing. My first DVD that I made back in 2006, it was called Figure Drawing: A Layered Approach, and there are layers to the way that I like to draw. And yeah, so now I'm doing another layer, and it's just you keep doing these layers until you're happy. Yeah. The Zoom classes aren't that big. I mean, I have a lot of members for the website, but they all don't join because the Zoom is 3 o'clock on a Tuesday Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, there's not a lot of people that join. Little bit more power. Pressing down harder. Being painterly. This is very different than the figure drawing that I showed you earlier where I did a lot of soft layers. This has layers, but now I'm starting to get much more aggressive with it. This needs to be lighter. Just keep looking at the photo reference. Don't look at your drawing for too long. Yeah, my daughter is, she's an artist, but she doesn't want to do art for a living. She paints skateboards and sneakers, and she's really into like anything crafts related. She does a lot of stuff, but she doesn't want to. I guess she sees how many hours I work, and she doesn't want to have my life. I don't blame her. Okay, everyone, I think we're going to call this sucker done for now on the live stream. I'm actually having a really fun time with it. It just needs more love. That's all. So I want to thank you all for joining me here today. I'm going to work on this drawing throughout the week. I'll probably give it a little bit more time. And my goal is to bring it up to the quality that I have here. So this is one where I really worked on smoothing it out with the brush and then drawing a little bit more. So I want to just, yeah, push it more. And it just needs time. Ons, I appreciate you joining, Ons. Aurora, thank you so much for joining, and I'll see you on Tuesday. Phoenix, I appreciate you joining. Triple X, awesome, man. Eknor Sai, Michelle Lecanto, I'll see you on Tuesday. Luke, hey Luke, how you doing, man? Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope to see some of your work in the future. Helen, I appreciate that. Aries, it's going too fast. I apologize if I missed your name. Magdalena, thank you for joining. Jill, thank you. I should go get Truffs. Dana, thank you. Oh, a couple people's names went by. Yeah, they're sleeping right now. I'll leave them alone. I'll leave Maxine, Michelle. Yeah, see you. Martina Necker, thank you for joining. Jose, Giorgio Pichetto, love it. Giorgio. Phoenix, it's okay, dude. Marie, thank you, Marie. Sarah M, awesome. We'll look forward to seeing you at Zoom. Eknor, Neil, I appreciate you, Neil, for joining. Have some fun drawing today. Sebastian Liberque, hopefully I said that right. David M, peace out. Gadi Gabi, A.K. Wilson, Kat, see you Tuesday, Kat. Feel better. Mike, thanks for joining us. Meep, Moop, Bop, Beep, D. Aries, see you later, man. Jethro, appreciate you joining. See you, Phoenix, Sebastian. Pamela, Aura. Thank you, Aura. Hope all is good over there in lockdown. Gosh. I appreciate you joining, Kelly. Samira, Tyson. Give the video a thanks up as you leave. Thank you so much for watching, David, Barbara, Sandy. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week, okay? See you, Nancy. All right.